At 5:12 local time, 4 American fighters disappear from the shadow of their KC-46 tanker and turn toward the Iranian coastline. 2 F-35A Lightning IIs fly ahead, their weapons hidden inside their internal bays. Behind them come 2 F-16CJs carrying AGM-88EAAR GM anti-radiation missiles. They aren't flying toward Tehran. They aren't hunting Iranian aircraft. Their target is something much smaller and potentially much harder to destroy. A mountain tunnel near Bandar Abbas, a tunnel connecting critical roads around one of Iran's most important maritime regions. And in this fictionalized scenario, the Americans have less than 40 minutes to get in, destroy the target, and get out. But there is one problem. Iran knows they're coming. Hundreds of miles away and over the horizon, radar detects the approaching formation. To the radar operator, the Americans aren't invisible, but detection is only the first step. The real question is whether Iran can turn that detection into a weapons quality track quickly enough to shoot them down. And that distinction is where modern air warfare gets extremely complicated. Because an aircraft can be detected without being accurately tracked, the first aircraft are the F-35s. Unlike conventional fighters, the F-35 doesn't need to rely exclusively on speed or altitude to survive. Its greatest advantage is the combination of low observability, sensors, data processing, and electronic warfare. The aircraft is designed to make the defender's job harder, not impossible, just harder. And in an air defense engagement, sometimes the few extra seconds are everything. Imagine an Iranian radar operator watching his display. Something appears. Maybe it's an aircraft. Maybe it's noise. Maybe it's a weak return that doesn't immediately look threatening. The radar sees something, but the picture isn't perfect. Meanwhile, the F-35s continue approaching. They don't have to destroy every radar in Iran. They only have to create enough disruption in the right place and at the right time. That's where the F-16CJs enter the story. Their mission is SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses. The concept behind an anti-radiation missile is brutally simple. If an enemy radar is transmitting, the missile can use those emissions to help locate the radar. The radar that is trying to find you can effectively reveal itself. But modern systems are smarter than the old turn on radar and get hit problem. A modern air defense crew can shut down its radar. It can move. It can change frequencies. It can use different sensors. It can attempt to deceive incoming weapons. That's why SID isn't simply about firing one missile at one radar, because an air defense system isn't just a missile launcher. Think about it like a nervous system. The radar is the eyes. The command network is the brain. The communications links are the nerves. The missile launcher is the muscle. Destroy one component and the rest may continue functioning, but disrupt enough of the connections and the entire system becomes slower, less coordinated, and less effective. That is why the fictional strike doesn't begin with the tunnel. It begins with a network protecting the tunnel. Cruise missiles arrive first. Their targets are not necessarily the launchers themselves. Instead, the objective is to disrupt critical nodes, radars, communications infrastructure, command facilities, and other components that allow individual air defense batteries to operate as part of a larger system. The F-35's electronic warfare system isn't simply a radio jammer. It is part of an integrated sensor and electronic warfare architecture designed to detect, analyze, and respond to threats. The goal isn't necessarily to make the enemy radar completely disappear. Sometimes the goal is to make the radar's information unreliable. A defender may receive a return, but is it the real aircraft? Is it a decoy? Is the range correct? Is the bearing correct? Is the target moving exactly where the computer thinks it is? Modern electronic warfare can turn those questions into major problems. Because a missile doesn't need to be physically destroyed if the engagement never becomes reliable enough for the defender to launch effectively. Meanwhile, the F-35 is building its own picture of the battlefield. Its sensors collect information from multiple sources: radar, electronic emissions, other aircraft, offboard data, and the environment itself. This is where the target finally comes into focus. The fictional target is a hardened mountain tunnel near Bandar Abbas. From the outside, it doesn't look particularly dramatic. There's no giant missile launcher, no fighter squadron, no massive military convoy, just a road disappearing into rock. But strategically, that's the point. The aircraft approaching the target now have a very different problem. They have already survived the air defense network, now they have to hit the correct piece of infrastructure. This is where precision-guided weapons become important. A JDAM doesn't simply fall toward a target and hope for the best. And now we reach the final phase. The tunnel entrances are damaged. Road access is disrupted. The surrounding defensive network is degraded. The air defense system is still alive in places, but it is no longer functioning as one perfectly coordinated shield. And that's the real objective of the strike. Not necessarily to destroy every Iranian radar, not necessarily to eliminate every missile battery, and certainly not to win an entire war in 40 minutes. The objective is much narrower. Create a temporary corridor through a hostile defensive network. Strike one critical target and leave before the defender can rebuild the picture. The aircraft turn away. The F-35s disappear back into the darkness. The F-16 follow.